is why. It's very important. When you go on a first date with someone, you need to ask them. You need to ask them who their favorite characters are from like TV shows, anime, you know, comic books, movies, anything. You need to ask them who are your favorite characters. And if they tell you things like, I love so and so because I relate to them emotionally and I think they're a great role model, they've taught me ABCD, and if the characters that they are saying are people like Aizen, Batman, Omni-Man, like you need to run away because that's gonna be a toxic relationship. That's gonna be a toxic relationship. Okay? You're gonna become some sort of a budget psychologist, my dear. So run for the hills, run away. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Zal and today we are going to attempt to bake double chocolate muffins. While we talk about everything I watched in the last, I want to say 2 weeks. Please don't judge me that I've watched quite a few things. I just have a lot of time on my hands, okay? I'm gonna be winging it. I'm gonna like put a recipe for anyone who's interested in trying to make double chocolate muffins or double chocolate cupcakes, whatever we are going to end up with today, so that you can, you know, get something out of this video other than me just faffing around. Please, someone buy me a new phone grip, because yeah, this is disgusting. If you see smoke in the corner, that's my dirty oven preheating. So now my house is on fire, nothing is burning, it's just the grease in my oven. So in the last 2 weeks, I can safely say that I watched 6 things, like 4 series and 2 movies, I want to say. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna get into those. I'm using this recipe, but I'm going to make a lot of, when I say a lot, I'm going to make a lot of substitutions. It's like the two peas and their pod.com. So the first thing I watched was Dota Dragon's Blood, and I mean, no spoilers, it was fine. I enjoyed it. I didn't like the voice actor of the main character guy. He was hot though, but I don't know, he just seemed very like a child, like a teenager, so I didn't enjoy that because I guess he's supposed to be a man. I don't know, there was just something weird about that, but I enjoyed it. I don't play Dota, unfortunately. It's just too complicated for me, and it's just one of those things. But a lot of my friends play Dota, and I don't know if they like it. I didn't want to like taint my image of the show. The premise, for those of you who don't know or who would like to watch, a dragon knight, basically they kill dragons to protect people, citizens. He finds himself in a situation where he inherits an intense power. That's all I'm gonna say. There's gonna be a spoiler part of this video, so I'm not gonna go into detail. So yeah, so for, you know, Dota, it was fine. I think for me I want to say a 6. I enjoyed it, but I really liked the villain. I think she was really cool. I really enjoyed it, but there's just so much going on, and the story can like sprout into a couple of directions. But like, yeah, I really enjoyed Dota. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not. The next thing that I watched was Heaven Official's Blessing. I'm sure if you watched my lazy day on my period video, you saw me watching it. It started off a bit confusing. I don't know, maybe it was just hard for me to get used to Mandarin, but like, not that I speak Japanese, please. It's just that, you know, when you're used to hearing a certain language over and over again, it becomes like easy. But like, obviously there are subtitles, but like, I don't know, it threw me off a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie, but it was really, really good. The premise of this show is that this prince meets this mysterious stranger. So he's a hidden official or something like that, and they're tasked with, I guess, figuring out stuff that happened. I don't know if it's just him who's tasked with that, because I guess, I don't know. So that's where my confusion came. But like, yeah, he's kind of like an investigator, and while he's investigating certain phenomena, trying to protect people of the human realm, he meets this mysterious guy, and yeah, it's just them on their journey. Hey, it's really good, and I feel like it is BL, but it's actually very fun. It's, you know, there's magic, there's action. The animation to me is really pretty. I think lots of it looks like a water painting, but I think it's really beautiful, and the characters are really likable, in my opinion. Very attractive characters. But like, yeah, so that's that with the lining, the wind. Yeah, so if you want to get into that, please get into that. Boys and girls, it's a good time. No, there's no kissing or whatever. It's very much queer baiting, but yeah, it's definitely BL in my spirit, you know? This is one thing I don't understand about China. Like, they've created some of the most amazing BL that I have ever read and that I've ever watched. And yet, when, you know, Westerners try and put, you know, lesbian or gay couples in their movies, they're like, you have to remove that scene before it reaches this country. And I'm just like, okay, is it because they're foreigners so it looks vulgar, or is it just like you don't know that you guys are producing these things and sending them to the rest of the world? I don't know, like, what the truth is. I don't understand. Like, someone please explain to me, people who have researched, because I'm not going to research because I'm lazy. I just want to watch nice things. So to the recipe, literally everything I make is just because of cravings and being poor. So my mom usually blesses me with ingredients, so that's how I manage to make a lot of the stuff that I'm craving, because she is not gonna give me money to buy takeout, so it is what it is. So the first thing, we're gonna put 1 and 2/3 cup of flour. It's all-purpose flour, but I have cake flour. It is what it is, and I only have a 1/3, so I'm gonna put 2 of these and 1 of these. If that math is wrong, you people who passed math in school and fractions, good for you. We're figuring it out. Oh god, am I doing this correctly? So the third thing I watched in the last 2 weeks was Yasuke. I mean, who doesn't want to see a black man as a samurai based on a true story? Loosely based on a true story, and you'll see why soon when I talk about it further. So basically, let me just read what the internet says. In the ancient times of Japan, a samurai warrior of African descent must return to his life of sword and violence in order to protect a mysterious girl from dark forces. Studio Mappa, yeah, Studio Mappa do the animation. It's 6 episodes. Yeah. I was very. Did I put the correct? Oh my fucking goodness. Did I do correctly? Oh no. Did I? No, I think I didn't put the other pickup. Why did I? Oh god. I'm pretty sure this is fine. I was very excited for this show. I was just like thriving, living for the representation, living for it, dying for it. Okay, I was living for it. When I watched it, it gave me very much, hey, the makers of the show, so what genre of anime would you like this to be? And then the makers basically just said yes. It was just a lot. It was a lot. I mean, it was, you could follow. I saw some people trying to be like, I don't understand what's happening. You understand what's happening, The problem is that the way that what is happening is being presented to us is very much, why? I mean, it's a fun watch, it's fun, it's fine. You know, the animation is good, the voice acting is great, both English and Japanese. I watched, not both, some episodes I wanted to see so that I can give you guys, you know, some feedback. But like, it was very much, yeah. So yeah, I gave it a solid 5. The opening song for me, I really feel like it did not need lyrics. The lyrics were so basic. I don't know. I'll put them, maybe if I have energy, I'll put them here. But the beats, instrumentals were really good. But the lyrics of the opening song, maybe I'm a fool. I don't know. I'm not a songwriter. I don't know, but it didn't need lyrics. If there were lyrics, it didn't need to be those lyrics. They were very on the nose, and that's not my favorite type of songwriting. I feel like that's the songwriting you do when you're writing for like a children's play or something, you know. The next thing that I watched, and actually, like, when you think something is being hyped, and when you find that the hype is appropriate, it's such a blessing. I watched Invincible. Y'all, the hype is appropriate. All I'm gonna tell you is that if you are watching this and, oh, it's a cartoon, and obviously the violence is not gonna be that bad, don't watch it if you don't like gore, because it's really, really bad. It's like The Boys animated times 25 million thousand in violence. So please, I'm just gonna read it because I don't have energy. 17-year-old Mark Grayson is just like every guy his age, except that his father is Omni-Man, the most powerful superhero on the planet. As Mark develops his own powers, he discovers his father's legacy may not be as heroic as it seems. So yeah, the comics are made by the guy who did the Walking Dead comics, Robert Kirkman. So good. He makes really, really good comic books. I'm not gonna lie, I've read most of The Walking Dead. Invincible, 8 episodes. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 only because one of the characters really irritated me so sincerely. So yeah, but it's fantastic. I think it's appropriate that it's in the 90s. I think it's 98% of Rotten Tomatoes. It's really, really good. And yeah, you can't tell me anything about it. And if you stand Omni-Man, I'm judging you. On to the movies. The first movie that I watched was Mayhem. Yes, I had been reminded of how much I genuinely am in love with Steven Yeun. And I said, even though I was not in love with his character because it's a child, but when I heard his voice, I remembered him and I said, I love this man. And I went to watch Mayhem because that's one of the movies where he was like, he's the starring in the movie. And it's one of my favorite things, you know. I love B-movies. It's got B-movie vibes, very violent, very graphic. We love it. We stand. And I really recommend that you should watch it. 2017, really good movie. I enjoyed it. If you don't like B-movies and you're like, B-movies are bad, like, go to hell. Leave me alone. Leave me in peace. Oh, 3/4 cups cocoa. Do I have enough cocoa? I don't know. This is the quarter cup, so I'm gonna put 3 of these. Okay, that's fine. I have leftover. That's fantastic. So Mayhem, really violent. The premise is basically there's a virus, and it's just so weird how all these virus movies are finding its way in 2021. Like, there's a virus that makes you unbelievably impulsive. So if you have been harboring intense anger towards your boss or your coworker, you're more likely to attack them. If you have been harboring sexual desires, you are most likely to act on them in front of anyone. Like, you don't care. All your inhibitions are gone. Your morality is off, switched off. That is what the movie is about. Basically, Steven Yeun's character is a lawyer and he works in a law firm. As we know, law firms can be garbage. If you are not a partner, they can be garbage. And yeah, so he is not a partner, and the virus breaks out into the office and chaos ensues. So yeah, I give it like a 9 out of 10. But that's just because I have a bias towards B movies. I love B movies, so probably you normal people will give it a 7 or an 8 or a 9 if you've got taste. What? That's overkill. This recipe, I'm not putting baking soda. I will put baking soda. Baking soda is bicarbonate of soda. Just in case you don't know. Identity. Half a teaspoon. Where you make it? Half a teaspoon. Here we go. Yeah, the last movie I watched was Godzilla vs. Kong. It was... I mean, Alexander Skarsgård is my kryptonite. I am in love with him. I hope he's not a racist, but I do love him sincerely. So he was nice, eye candy to see, and it was really nice watching the action. But I mean, it was fine. I think too much was going on for me. Ooh, this is so full, and the bowl that I decided to use said no. Ooh, the bowl is small. It's too small for this thing, okay? Don't judge me. I'm doing my best. I'm not a professional. The professional baker is my mother. So basically, I feel there was just too much going on. Everyone from all the movies were, you know, having their own separate journeys. It just felt like the decisions that were being made were not great. But I feel like the point of that movie is not the people, it's the monsters. And I think they delivered. I think they did a decent job. The action was fantastic. It was nice watching huge giant monsters beat each other up, and yeah, it was great. It was great. So it does what it says on the tin. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like sometimes they didn't even need people. It was very much Godzilla vs. King Kong. Possibility. Watch how I say I hate the lyrics of the Yasuke soundtrack, but watch me keep on singing it. It's just so unbelievable. I think my brain is just in shock that those are lyrics that passed. Especially, like, it's different, like, if it's Japanese people writing English lyrics and it's like, okay, that's just the direct translation and they think that it's correct, and that's fine. But not where people who speak English are writing English lyrics and they're just like basic as fuck. It's just like, guys, you have the money. Netflix, you've got the money to hire proper songwriters, I believe. But anyway, it's up to you. I'm sure people liked it. Maybe I have bad taste in music, maybe. Who knows? I don't even give a shit. Possibilities. A brand new identity. That's it. So now we're gonna get into the spoiler part of this video already. So if you want to avoid spoilers, just be checking in the description below already. Okay? So the first show I want to talk about, with just mild spoilers, not too deep, is Dota. Oh my god. I could not stand that little elven girl. She's an elf, right? The one that is in a polyamorous. Their people are polyamorous. I can't stand her. I'm so sorry to say. She is so irritating. Like, everyone is brainwashed. There's people, and you know what? One thing I liked about Dota is how it shows people are just so blind to follow some of these religions. Like, these people were fighting for this goddess who I really liked. I liked that they kept her Irish accent. I thought that was really nice. Is she Irish in the games? You people confirm for me. 1 cup of sugar. Alright. It just shows you how people are so quick to be following these religions without question. Like, why would your deity want to treat you like garbage while you love them? Why? It's just so bizarre to me. But like, we have people like this in our day and age who are allowing pastors to be molesting their children in the name of God will bless you, or this is the way God said I should heal your child. And I feel like that's ridiculous to me. But But brainwashing, it happens so fast. And the people who usually get brainwashed are people who are skeptics. So, skeptics, be careful, right? Be like me. Believe in witchcraft because you're African, but also believe in science. They'll never get you. So yeah, that was my main irritation. And also, like I said, the voice acting, okay, the voice acting of the guy was good, of the main character, it was good. But I just did not enjoy seeing the character's body with that voice, you know, because it just felt like Sokka's voice on the body of Omni-Man. That's what it felt like to me. But I guess maybe because there's a frat boy face, so I guess they could get away with it. It's fine. It's just nitpicking, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch season 2 if it comes out. But like, yeah, it is what it is. You know? The next show where I'm going to talk about mild spoilers is Yasuke. Let's go with Yasuke. Yasuke. You know, it started off well, you know. I thought that they drew him very well. The hair was very good. Like, it was promising. Right? It was promising. Yasuke came with like hype, you know. It was looking good in the promos. It was looking fantastic. But there was just too much going on. There was samurais, there was witchcraft, there was mech, and I was just like, there's like some sort of a demon thing going on, and I'm just like, okay. I feel like the mech was a step too far. So I really thought that they were going to keep it as close as possible to what information they have about the original Yasuke man. You know what I mean? Because it's based on a true story. So yeah, I was like really interested to find out like, okay, so how did this black guy get there? He was sold into slavery. Well, he was a slave and then he was sold again to this man who, you know, made him a samurai in Japan and, you know, one of the only blacks. You know, and I was just so ready. I was so ready to be engrossed in this story. Did I put salt? Yeah, I did. Did I? I don't remember putting salt. I didn't put salt. I'm gonna put it in the wet. Baking and talking at the same time is not a good idea. I'm not putting it would be weird. Wouldn't it be too salty? Salt is a silent murder. For me, I feel like it kind of really glossed over his past because we see him now as an old man dealing with this supernatural situation where he has to protect this girl who was also like has her own drama going on. It was a lot for me. I'm gonna put coffee. There's no coffee in this recipe, but I'm gonna put coffee because coffee always tastes really good in chocolate things. What have I done? Oops. I spilled some. I spilled like a dash of it. Yeah, so I'm putting coffee in my recipe. Feel free to copy or not. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Obviously, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna put like 1 tablespoon. Can you tell that we're in for a treat? If this goes wrong, so I'm putting the sugar in with the wet ingredients because sugar turns into a liquid. That is what they told me one day on Food Network. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I didn't add the sugar in with the flour. Just in case anyone is paying attention. I just wish that they could have started from his, like, when they sold him into, when his first owner sold him to his second owner. I wish we could have started from there. Because for me, those snippets, like his past, his reminiscence, his trauma, I was more interested in that story than the one that was happening in real time. I really didn't care for what was happening in real time. Sour cream. I don't have sour cream. I don't have sour cream. So I'm gonna put milk. I'm just gonna finish all the milk in here. Because it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. Well, who measures vanilla? If you measure vanilla, I'm judging you. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is Mayhem. So Mayhem in the movie, like I said, he's a lawyer and there's a virus that makes you basically have your moral compass is switched off and you have a red eye, like the indicator that you are suffering from this disease, that your eye turns red. Any eye, just one eye, and you can even kill someone. So basically, can you imagine the day that this virus decides to spread in this law firm is the day that our protagonist is being fired for something that he did not do. He's basically the scapegoat for some negligence that one of the lawyers committed. A lawyer who is the boss's favorite. So you can imagine what happens next. Like, people die. And as you all know, if you follow me, I know in the last couple of weeks I've been talking about a lot of anime, but if you know me, you know I enjoy watching people get massacred in movies. I don't know what to tell you. It just is what it is. I don't know. There's nothing that my parents did wrong raising me. It just happened. It just happened. I think I take it from my aunt. My late aunt loved horror movies, so yeah. So if you are frustrated with your boss and you want to live vicariously through someone who hates his boss and may or may not murder his boss, please feel free to watch this movie as an escape. We are putting two eggs. It says 2 eggs and a yolk, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just putting 2 eggs. This is Africa. Eggs are 80 kwacha. We're not going to. Well, they've reduced, so I saw, but like, I'm not going to waste egg white, so I'm just putting 2 eggs. What this is going to turn into, only the Lord knows. And we whisk. Woo. What I've done is bad. I'm using the wrong equipment. Like, why didn't I whisk the eggs before? Because now I have to like smash them, because they're like, for some reason, not breaking. Come on, break. The yolk is not breaking. It's a very resilient yolk. And then the last movie I'm going to be talking about is Godzilla versus Kong. Like I said earlier, there was just so much happening in that movie. Too many parties concerned. When we all just give it, the only thing we care about is the monsters beating the shit out of each other, like truly. So I'm just gonna set this aside while I cut my chocolate. I had 2 slabs. I ate some from this one because it's my life, I can do what I want. But ideally, I would like to even have 3 slabs of chocolate. But that's not what we have. I didn't get why they just couldn't let... I don't know if I've forgotten what happened in the other movies, because I was not watching the other movies for the science behind it. I was not watching the other movies for the people. I was watching the movies to watch these beasts beat, basically. That's what I was watching the movies for. So I don't know what the science was behind half of the things. So I didn't really care for what was happening with the human beings. So like for me, I was just like, why do we give a damn so much? Like, why would you decide to imprison King Kong on Skull Island when he never really wanted to leave Skull Island? According to this timeline, it's not the King Kong that went to the Empire State Building. Can't even remember how, but like, so I don't understand why they decided to make him like trapped and just rain on his parade when he was just minding his own business protecting Skull Island. But yeah, like they said, like, oh, he came to our realm via the storm or whatever that brought him or whatever nonsense, you know. So yeah, so I just felt very weird about that. Like, why do scientists, you know, have to be feeling like they need to be doing stuff that no one asked them to do in the first place? I enjoyed the villainous guy. He had charisma. I enjoy my villains with charisma. Doesn't mean that I like them as a person. I just like being entertained by their diabolical behavior. He really thought that he was doing something, but he wasn't. So yeah, I don't know. There's not much I can say about Godzilla versus King Kong. I enjoyed watching them beat the shit out of each other, but then I was sad because King Kong is actually kind of adorable. He's a monkey, but I'm terrified of monkeys. As an African, y'all understand. Monkeys are not cute the way Americans and other foreigners believe that monkeys are cute. Monkeys steal and they bite, so yeah. So yeah, he was kind of sweet. He was really like, he had emotions, and Godzilla just was like, this is my house. You're not gonna be making all this nonsense in my house. So Godzilla is not, he's a lizard. Lizards, I don't want to those people who own lizards as pets, I don't want you to come for me and start saying, well, you don't know anything about lizards, they've got so many emotions. I don't know anything about lizards. So, but Godzilla just doesn't seem to have emotions. The only emotion I saw was when he was fighting his enemy that was a robot. But like, yeah, I enjoyed it for the action. Didn't really care for the story. Still don't know what was happening story-wise, because I was just like, why are we doing this? But I'm glad King Kong made it home. That's all I care about. He's sweet. He's a sweet guy. Wait, did I talk about Heaven's official blessing? Oh no, let me talk about Heaven's official blessing. Oh my god, I forgot. Anyway, Heaven's official blessing. So for me, what I found very bizarre, not bizarre, confusing was, you know, when it started, it didn't click to me that I thought that alive people could ascend to being a god, because that's basically what a heaven official is. I guess it's a god, but they have ranks, you know what I mean? So this prince who died, he's really sweet, he's really, really pretty, and he has like these band-aids around, not band-aids, are they not? What is a band-aid? A band-aid is the one you stick. Bandages. He has bandages around his neck and wrists, which he uses in battle. So basically he's like, oh, I'm gonna check out this place because, you know, I don't know what he wanted to do there. I've even forgotten because so much happened and it was kind of irrelevant. I guess this was just trying to be like a precursor of meeting his main, well, he's kind of like foreshadowed to be an antagonist, but I guess they were just trying to create the situation in them for them to meet. So when he went to try and investigate why brides were going missing in this certain part of China, he meets this mysterious stranger. We never get to see above his mouth. Do we see his nose? We don't get to see above his nose. So like here, like you just see it blank. It's blank. There are no eyes. But like you know that they're there because you know it's animation. So obviously they're just trying to be like mysterious. So like this mysterious stranger meets our sexy, he's also sexy, the mysterious stranger. He meets our sexy heaven official who is disguised as a bride because he's trying to find the ghost that is killing brides, you know, and obviously he looks pretty. You know how these queer baiting animated shows are. You know, there's always that one episode where the guy who is pretty enough to pass as a girl has to wear a dress and be like a woman. So the guy comes, then he tries to tell his officials like, oh, after he solves what happens in that place because it's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, it's relevant-ish. So after he solves the case, he's like, yeah, I met this guy and I think like he's a demon. And then everyone is like, oh my god, just forget about it, don't talk about it because he creates so much trouble for us anyway, so like we don't deal with him, we just mind our own business. That's the vibe that I got, like we just mind our own business because no one can really deal with him because he's like OP. So like, okay, cool. So then this our crown prince who has bandages around his neck, he's like, okay, I'm going to like make a shrine so that people can start worshiping me. And then they're like, really? Okay, go do whatever you want, you know. So he goes to this place, this small town that has its own gods, and the people are just like, what are you doing? Because he goes and he behaves like he's a priest. But he's not a priest, he's a god in disguise. He is the god that he would like them to start worshiping. And everyone is like, it's a ramshackle, it's a lot. It's a ramshackle place, and he's just like trying to get people to worship him, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to make a mistake and pray to the wrong god and have like bad things happen to us, and our current gods are like mad at us, so we'll pass. So he's like, oh, okay, but I need so much money for repairs. So I don't know where he was going one of these days. He was going somewhere. Guys, I watch too many things to remember details. I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, I know everyone's name. I know every single plot that was happening in this show. I watch too much shit. I don't have time to start memorizing things the way people memorize. So bear with me. If you want to sit for this show and memorize everything, be my guest. It's a good show. I recommend it. I genuinely give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, egg is so gross. Ew. Yeah, let me pour this in the well. So I've got my egg mixture, pouring that into my. Now we mix with the whisk because I want it to be smooth. We're gonna add the hot water coffee mixture after I've done the initial mixing because I want everything to be incorporated. Yeah, so I don't know where he was going. I guess he was going to run some errands for his shrine. And then he's on this, he gets a ride from this man on his oxen cart. Did I mention that it's a historical piece? Yeah, on his oxen. And then like this hot young man just appears in the back with him, the way he's sitting with the hay. And I don't know why he didn't think it was weird. He thought he was a person. I don't know how he thought he was a person and just didn't see him. But like, yeah, it's a hot man who is wearing the exact same color scheme as the hot stranger whose eyes we did not see in the Nwanka. He's talking to him and he's asking him questions, and this guy knows so much about the supernatural. Like, he knows the tea about every god, every ghost, every demon. Like, he knows the tea. Like, but this is like a young man. He was like, oh, you're such a young man, you know what I mean? Like, you seem like so young and like you know like so much. And he's like, yes, like obviously I just like drama. I guess that's the conclusion. That was, you know, but obviously he's sus of him, you know. And he asks him about this same entity that seems to be creating confusion for the gods. And he's like, yeah, the story behind that guy is that he murdered people and he has no eye and he is OP, and you know the only way to defeat him is to destroy his ashes. And then he's like, well, if they destroy his ashes, like why don't they just asking, like he was like, then if he's such a drama queen and a trouble to the, yeah, you guys have spilled coffee all over myself. Well, not all over myself, I'm being dramatic, but like on my hoodie. Why don't they just get his ashes? Like, well, he hides them well or whatever. Like, it was just a dramatic conversation. And then, yeah, for somehow, you know how these queer baiting romance shows go. Somehow, some way, this stranger starts living with our protagonist. He starts living with him. You know, he needs to be everywhere our protagonist is, overprotective of someone who can protect themselves, you know. And it's very much, and there was only one bed energy. And there was literally only one bed. It literally went there, like all the tropes of the fanfics. But I mean, we love that shit. We love a good there was only one bed story, man. We love it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna whisk as much as I can. Otherwise, I don't really. My whisk is so. My mom gave me all the stuff that she didn't want. So this is what I'm working with. So blame her. It just becomes, it escalates. You know, they have to investigate some other situation that's happening. And then we get to see what our protagonist's life was before he ascended into the life of being a god. It was a nice ride. Very wholesome. For such heavy themes, like, you know, it was good. So there's a trick. Apparently you're supposed to coat the chocolate, your chocolate chips or whatever you're adding with flour so that they don't sink to the bottom when you fold them in. So that's what I'm doing. So it was very wholesome. In the end, we get to see who he is. I hope there's season 2 because it's actually really sweet. It's based on a novel of the same name. Please watch it, you guys. I don't want to give too much away. I know my BL loving family is a small family, especially in Zambia, but I know you're there and I know you're constantly looking for good things to watch, so watch it. It's really good. Like the queer baiting is not so hard that you have to squint your eyes. It's not like, yeah. Don't worry. It's worth it. The romance is intense. Now I'm folding in the chocolate. Okay, I'll just pour, okay? Please stop judging me. Don't overfill. These muffins are going to be connected. I'm just preparing you emotionally. So I guess I'm gonna do 25 minutes, I guess. So I'm taking them out of the oven. Look at them. I'm taking them out a little bit earlier because I don't want them to be dry. I don't know what I'm doing. Dangerous games. So these ones, I have no idea how they've done because they were like right on this thing. Because I couldn't fit both of them in here. Don't judge me. Yes, it's dirty. I see it. I see what you see. But look at them. They look really good. Let's hope they taste good. I took many liberties with this recipe, and as we all know, baking is a science. And maybe my science was off. I'm just gonna let them cool, I guess. I'll let them cool for 10 minutes or whatever. So, Invincible. Really great show, as I stressed earlier. Star-studded cast, J.K. Simmons, Steven Yeun, Sandra Oh, etc. Fantastic voice acting. It was so good. I'm sorry if the camera is shaking, you guys. They're balancing on very questionable things on my bed. I'm sorry. There's just so much to unpack. But I'm going to talk about what I enjoyed. That comes to mind at the moment. So if I leave out anything, feel free to say in the comments or whatever. So I really liked the fact that this was a kid. Like, he was a kid and he didn't become some amazing professional hero in seconds or after one training montage. It was like continual improvement, and he made some really unfortunate mistakes as he was becoming a superhero, right? Like when he had his first major superhero encounter with the whole alien invasion thing, he was trying to save that only, and as he didn't realize as he was bumping around, he was fucking her up. As would really happen in real life. Like, I really appreciate that about this show. They really showed the truth. Obviously we don't have real superheroes flying around, but I feel like that's the most realistic thing that would happen. Like, people get hurt even if you are trying to save them. Even in real life, people get hurt. And that's why I tell you, oh, when someone is injured, don't touch them, wait for paramedics to come or whatever, because real life, they're gonna actually end up hurting someone worse. So he was not trained, and it was very clear, and it was very clear his improvement. You know what I mean? And that's what I really liked about the show. I also liked the fact that he was a dumbass teenager, like with girls, with what, like, it was irritating, but that's the truth. I mean, people who are teenagers now and who have been teenagers in their lives know that that was like probably the worst. Like, you were the worst at that age. You were making the worst decisions. You were so irritating. You were so selfish. You just wanted what you wanted. And the interaction with his mom when she was telling him to get in the house, when he was like trying to practice how to land, and he was like, make me, I was just like, oh my god, if that was my child, I would never speak to him. I would never. And you know, I would give him psychological warfare as a parent. I know, maybe it's foreshadowing that I'm going to be a petty mom. Who knows? But like, that was so disrespectful. But she had the patience, she had the grace. She was like, you know what, boy, let me just tell you something. And I really love the dynamic, the family dynamic. And if you watch it without knowing anything, like, the twist is really like so devastating. The twist is so devastating because their family looked perfect. Parenting wise, I feel like Omniman seemed to be a really good dad. The way his son was very open with him, he was a good husband. The way him and his wife were always communicating, always doing stuff together. He would always go home. Like, he was just like he seemed to be a good husband and a good dad. And it really, when he punched his child for the first time during training, that felt so real to me. Like the way he reacted, the way Mark reacted. Is his name Mark? What's your name? Yeah. The way Mark reacted, terrified, because that was like, he was like, whoa, this is like, I can die. He probably felt like he was gonna die. And I could tell his dad felt really bad, because first of all, Omni-Man is trash. Okay, let me not even get fun. Omni-Man is trash. And if your first instinct is to stand him, like, wow, he's great, he's a role model as a person, as a man especially, then you have problems, you need to go therapy. But as a character, he's fantastic. He's a fantastic character. He seemed to make a good environment for his child to communicate with him, because even when he was telling his dad, like when he was trying to force his dad to hit him again, and he was like, I was just scared. I was like, oh my god, that is so sweet. Such a healthy environment where your child can openly tell you how something made them feel, something that you did made them feel. I think that's a very, very important aspect to have as a parent. And it was nice seeing like where the similarities and inspiration for certain characters came from. I feel like, yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep because I don't want people to like, yeah, but like, yeah, I could see a lot of similarities between like characters that inspired Robert Kirkman. Very, very interesting to see. I felt like Omni-Man was really like, he needs, this is when I tell you people can be brainwashed. You can be brainwashed by your own people, do you know? And he genuinely started caring about his family, liking this place, as his child was alluding to, as he was getting his ass beat. Because, you know, there are certain things that he said throughout the show, like in the beginning when he was like, I kind of wish he didn't get his powers, because he kind of wanted it to stay the same. I guess he felt like, once this happens, I have to teach him our ways, I have to whatever. And that's why he ended up being a toxic ass guy. And I feel the speech when he was trying to convince his child to turn over to his other half of his family's beliefs was more for him than his son. He was trying to convince himself why he's doing what he's doing. Like, I mean, calling his wife a pet was very fucked up. I mean, pets, it gave me very much colonial vibes, very much slavery, very much like, this is livestock, but it's good enough to fuck. And it's just like, okay. But also, he did seem to love her. I mean, you can't pretend for 20 years, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you come from. 20 years is a long time to perform and to lie. So I think deep down, not even deep, but surface, he loves her. And I'm glad she heard that, so she must never take him back. Please, all this season 2, season 3, please don't take this man back. He's a garbage can. He's a garbage can. Like, ish. I don't care if people are gonna be like, no, but that was his conditioning, he's whatever. There comes a time in your life, especially when you're exposed to different people, different ways of living, you come to your own conclusions of what is right and what is wrong. Okay? And unfortunately, he had the opportunity. He loved living here, even though he's like, hey, you people are fools, you're just going to live a blink in my eye of my life. Like, okay, bitch. Okay, so why are you out here running errands for your wife when she tells you to go? Like come on, respect me, Nolan, respect all of us. Oh, before I forget, that situation with robots, that was problematic as hell. It was problematic as hell. Like, they need to unpack that. Like, you can't steal someone's DNA. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's so fucked up what he did. But I get it. He wanted to be with the girl, and he noticed that she was feeling some type of way for that guy who would never like her because she's literally in a child's body. So yeah, that needed to be unpacked. But I really love the show. I feel like the cupcakes are cool. Please don't be raw inside. Don't be raw. Let's see what happens. So here is one of the cupcake muffin situations. This is the biggest one. I got the biggest one because I want to see if it's just gonna be goo in the middle. And if it's just gonna be goo in the middle, I'm just gonna throw them back in the oven. I don't care. Like, we're not a professional channel here. Please don't eat on your bed. You're gonna bring cockroaches. So that's me peeling away. Just peeled away the thing. Oh my god. I'm not biting into it. I'm not even going to break it. Oh my god. It's really good. It's not too sweet. The chocolate is really good in here. Really good. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.